All right, so Lana and Dave lured me to Delaware.
The empty
We made
state.
him drive an hour from his theater to go to another shitty fucking theater.
This movie's not playing anywhere,
No, we went to see Lisa Frankenstein.
which was great.
I loved it. The
Yeah.
shit
Yeah, it
out of
was
this movie. I loved it.
I didn't know really what to expect because usually when a movie all the art, all the trailers and stuff like that made me go like, oh, this looks like a lot of fun. I want to see this. Robin Williams' daughter. I was like, oh, we'll see what she's like as a director. Diablo Cody, I like. But yeah, so we went to.
And I love Catherine Newton. I love Freaky. That movie was so
And
good.
she's great. In
Yeah,
this.
she's really good.
She like just complete camp performance that I was not expecting because I heard Freaky and I've seen other things that she's in, but I'd never seen something this broad from her. She's a real broad.
I like my broads broad.
Me too.
She goes crazy pretty good.
And it's great, yeah. And she looks so much like a young lady who used to work with me who I quite enjoyed her time working with me. And she looks so much like her that I Google searched a picture and I sent her. I was like, dude, you look exactly like this chick. And then she messaged me back. And she lives in France now.
Oh, shit.
And she's just like, fuck, that chick does look like me. I was like, I know, right? And then she's like, wow, you're lucky. You got to bang a chick who looks like a chick in a movie. And I was like...
His sister from Pet Sematary.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Zelda. So we went to the Regal, what is this called?
Brandywine, Regal
Yeah.
Brandywine Town Center,
Yes.
I think.
And so this theater, I guess, it was in a mall.
No, this theater had, it actually...
It was its own amusement
There
park.
was a whole floor that was like an amusement park. And we used to go there back in the day.
Yeah.
And they used to have go-karts. They
Mhm.
had
Mini golf.
mini golf, video games, House of the Dead when it was big.
Yeah.
I was here.
Yeah.
And I remember here one night and some dude put like a fucking whole roll of quarters in House of the Dead, and then all the power went out the place.
Oh my god, I would be pissed.
So-
Yeah.
And now the ghosts of
Yeah,
his quarters
but yeah,
wander the halls.
Something happened where this place like just went belly up, and all it is now is like a crappy movie theater. Like all that stuff's gone, and the movie theater is like just like the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah,
like,
the
it
lobby
was-
is massive. And it's got like an awning. And all I could think is like, what if we kissed under the awning in the Regal of the... But it looks like the Showboat in Atlantic City almost. Like it's all like run down and weird. And then when you go up the first escalator, there's like little Oscar men, but they're like off-brand Oscar men.
They're Isker.
Isker, yeah. But as we were leaving, you said at first, you're like, oh, we could make a movie here and nobody would know.
Right.
And then you said the same thing. You're like, we could make a movie here and nobody would know. It's just long, empty fucking corridors.
Yeah, it's wild.
And they had turned off the escalator and they were going to make us fucking walk, like, with our legs. But I was just like, I get lost from you guys, and then years later, people just find me wandering the halls in a wedding dress.
I like the Nickelback poster.
There's a fucking Nickelback poster in there.
There's a
How long's that been there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was, so I said they're like the ghosts at the end of the Haunted Mansion, and you have to accept the supernatural with arms wide open. You know? And then Dave, the guy who turned the escalator back on, Dave's like, the weird thing is there is no maintenance crew. I was like, oh yeah, they died here in the fire of 93. Tell him
Like-
Escalator Joe sent you.
There was like a little shitty bar, and I was expecting to see Lloyd.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
The Shining.
The-
And also, I smuggled in White Claw.
Yeah.
We're-
Well, because the dude who looks like, and I'm a guy who works at a movie theater, the dude who looks like every dude who works at a movie theater was like, I have to check your bag.
Yeah.
And you were like, for what?
Yeah,
And, you know?
because I had some drinks at a Red Robin with these guys
Yum.
before we went.
Yeah, we're
And
good customers.
Mhm.
so I was just being bold. I'm like, what the fuck are you checking my bag for?
And I was like, well, good thing I keistered the cocaine. And the reference went right over his head because he was
Yeah.
like,
But it was funny,
I only
though,
know anime.
because he checked my bag, and I had this big freezer bag. It says freezer. Like, obviously, it's one of those giant...
making
It's for
can
booze.
noises
Yeah.
as you
Keep
open
your
the
booze.
bag.
And then he's like, sure, you're good. You're
Totally
good.
not full of White Claw. It
Yeah,
says
yeah,
on the
right,
outside of
not White
it.
Claw at all.
You just seem like good people. I'm gonna let this one slide. This place was fucking weird, and it reminded me of. I was telling Dave, in Tucson there was this. It used to be like a 3-story mall, and it was, by the time I lived there in 2013, it was completely dead. And we had got Amber when she and I were dating. We went to go see Machete Kills there, and like the parking lot was empty. It looked like two fucking Highlanders were gonna get into a fight in the parking lot there. Like that's what it looked like, you know. And we'd take like 2 escalators up, and you could look down and just see that the mall was completely vacant and terrifying. And then the only thing was open was the movie theater. And we went and saw Machete Kills, and everyone in there just looked like they'd seen some shit, you know. But yeah, that's what this place reminded me of. But it's got a Red Robin and on the other side, and that closes at 10 o'clock.
I know, that's lame, but they had good food. Like, I didn't even think they would, but the pretzel bites and the pickle.
Oh yeah, you got fried pickles when I got there, because I drove literally from work at a movie theater across state lines to another movie theater. What I assume is going to be like, oh yeah, I pick you guys up, or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, the theater's up here, and it becomes, like I said, the scene in the Sopranos where you drive me into the woods to execute Adriana. Like, I'm crawling in the woods and Dave walking behind me.
But I'm dressed up in my East Street band scarves. Can't start a fire.
Merry Christmas, baby.
So what can I just say? When we go in there, I go in the bathroom. You go in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. 3 dudes walk in the bathroom.
I like.
And I'm going, and they're not going to the bathroom. They're just standing there, like looking at me. So I'm like trying to go quickly so I can get the fuck out of there.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
I don't know what happened, but
That's the thing. Okay, actually, now that I say that, how would orcs know what a menu is? Because that's a line from Lord of the Rings. How would they know that?
I don't know, because I'm not a nerd.
Peter Jackson, call me. I know you watch.
Explain yourself.
Yeah. So Lisa Frankenstein.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we watched the movie.
We'll talk about the vomit later.
Yes, there's vomit in there too.
Not in the movie, but
no. Well, there's vomit in the movie as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you what led me to Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay.
So this movie kind of came and when it got dumped in the theater. And at first, when I saw the trailer, I don't know, maybe I just I didn't really see the full trailer. I just saw clips, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't even think much of it. But then I've been a little out of it because of the eye surgery, I'll admit. But then I'm back
from my Godzilla apology tour.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too. So then I was watching. Now I'm a big Svengoolie fan, as you can see. I love Nostalgia Ferratu. He's nostalgia.
And you have a Svengoolie.
Oh yeah, I got a Svengoolie on too.
So we're big.
And one of the producers from Svengoolie started following me on Instagram because they showed Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. Yes. And somebody had shared my Planet Frankenstein poster, and then they tagged me in it, and then that dude liked that post, and then started following me. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
All right, well, that's cool. Well, one of the Sven Squad people's, Gwen Gooley, so I started following, I have to get her shirt. I started following her regular YouTube page. Yeah. And in real life, she's gorgeous as Gwen Gooley, but she's just this fun redhead in real life who's like a cosplayer. You know, she goes to, like, she works Universal and does Bride of Frankenstein, and she's really funny. And we're watching, she was reviewing this, and she loved the shit out of this movie and really sold it on me. I'm like, well, let me go back and watch the trailer, you know. And then I did, and I was like, okay, I gotta give this a chance. And I was thinking, I love Jennifer's Body, which Diablo Cody also wrote. Yeah. And I'm like, I really shouldn't have slept on this one. But now I'm like wanting to see it real bad. But now it's like not playing anywhere. So
the theater that's closest to my house only had it at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm not getting up that early.
Yeah.
So so I saw it was here at like 10 o'clock, so then I'm like, dude, would you by any chance want to drive like an hour out of state to see this movie?
I told at work, I'm like, I'm fucking bailing, dude. Like, after I got into a big fight with my boss, and I'm fucking emotionally and physically checked out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna drive across state lines to go watch a movie that nobody cares about with my friends who I haven't had a chance to hang out with in a long time.
I wish we could have done it in the General Lee.
Oh, they got across state lines.
And Duke boys. I mean, I could just put a Confederate flag on the top of my
But I'm so glad
it's
we
about
did.
Southern pride, that's all.
I love the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, it was great.
And everything about it was very, there was a lot of great style. Catherine Newton, I loved her in Freaky.
Yeah.
I feel bad she was stuck in that bad Ant-Man movie. But
she's
the daughter.
Oh my God, really? Yep. Oh, poor girl.
We were super high. Like, we made weed brownies and went to see that. I didn't even really want to see it, but a friend of ours, that was the only day they had to be hang out. That was the only movie playing that they wanted to see. So I'm like, we're going to see it.
Was that Quantumania she was in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So even on the weed brownies, that movie sucked. But I
wanted
like
to be
her.
Star Wars really badly.
Yes.
Like, I forgot I saw it,
It wanted to be badly Star
Yeah,
Wars. Badly.
but no, this had amazing style. Again, you go like, okay, Robin Williams' daughter, we'll see. And I was like, no, this nailed that.
She did a great job.
This nailed that, like, the weird girl vibe. I like that weird girl vibe because I'm friends with so many of those people growing up.
Oh, shit.
I know, my phone talks. But yeah, so it was a little My Boyfriend's Back.
Uh-huh.
It was a little Heather's.
Yeah, I was thinking of Heather's.
A lot of Frankenweenie. There was a lot of this movie that felt very early Tim Burton.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of the lighting, especially like when she gets drugged. It reminded me of walking the corridors of the afterlife when they come to the thing where like the lost souls room and all that, where the lighting is like different on their face and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is like beautifully stylized. And then I really liked the whole look of the cemetery. Even that very first scene where she's etching the thing, I was like, wow, this has this beautiful kind of Southern Gothic-esque kind of vibe to it. And I was really, really impressed by it. Yeah. A lot of people told me that saw it, they're like, oh, the ending ruined it. And I was like, I don't think so. I think the ending...
I thought that was a perfect ending.
Yeah.
I don't know why they thought that. Soundtrack is great.
Oh,
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of good... Well, yeah.
And there's some twists, because they have that classic Cinderella story where her... there's a funny story. Well, it's sick funny.
Yeah.
Where you find out her mom... You find out like her mom had died, but later you find out she was killed by an axe murderer, and Catherine Newton watches happen. And so her dad, 6 months later, he marries...
Carla Gugino,
yes,
who I love.
And she has this new stepdaughter. Now, Carla Gugino, she's a bitch.
From Son-in-Law.
Which she's like the typical evil stepmom, but her daughter's actually really, really nice and for the most part pretty cool too.
And because she even has that moment with her when she's like, you tried.
Yeah.
And I love you. And you, like, people like her would not give her that attention. I was like, oh, it's a really nice character moment within all the others. Because the mom felt like, Carla Gugino felt like she was playing like a John Waters character, which I really, really liked as well. Like even the scenes where she's in the nurse outfit, how she's framed in the scene felt very
totally
like Mick Stoll would play that part.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, the look of it, the dialogue.
Like Serial Mom.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But she's really cerebral. Oh, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. There was a lot. There was so many funny.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It was really, really well written, and I'm bummed that. But you and I were saying this while you were in the bathroom that we love each other, and that the idea was that like this is going to be a camp movie. This is going to be a movie that people are going to discover, and it's going to be one of those like one that girls are really going to relate to. No, I really, really enjoyed this, and I'm bummed that it didn't make any money and that I kind of slept on it because I would have loved to have seen it with an audience of people who got it.
Right.
I know, because there was only 3 other people in the audience.
Yeah.
They seemed to enjoy it a lot, but it's only 3 people.
It's a shame they didn't promote it well. I think they only dropped trailers like a few weeks before it came out.
Yeah.
Which is the thing now, which why movies aren't doing so well. People don't know they're out.
Yeah, they got the fucking.
I don't know why that.
There's a fucking Crow movie coming out in June, and I'm like, dude, it's March.
Yeah, that's really bothersome.
No
They
idea.
did that with Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret too, which I love.
I thought that was really good as well.
Movie?
Yeah.
They didn't promote it, and they dropped the trailer like a month before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you not building up your?
Well, I mean, at least they didn't use it as a tax write-off like Warner Brothers does for everything.
Like who knows if Salem Slot's ever gonna get released?
No, and Stephen King got mad about it, and then all because he doesn't like Donald Trump, everybody automatically turns that. And I was like, well, how about he's also saying like, hey, this is a good fuck all that other shit. This is a good movie, and I want people to see it because it's based on my work, and I think horror fans will like it. But everybody's got to always politicize everything.
Yeah. Well, he does get a little wild.
He does, but sometimes I like,
In his defense, can I say that's my favorite book of his?
Okay, all right.
And this is the one tweet he's made in years. I was like,
But I mean, they're just like, it's like this thing, like they're writing off. Somebody said that they have an unwatermarked version of Acme versus Wile E. Coyote, and if Warner Brothers shelves it, they're just going to leak it online.
Oh, nice.
But again, you're going to tell me that Batgirl was worse than Madam Web?
Right. I mean, I feel bad. They waited till they were almost done shooting Batgirl. I mean, it could have been terrible for all we know, but the fact they put all that work into it, and then we're like, we're just going to pull the plug.
Because Brendan Fraser was on Howard Stern, and he was talking about it. He's like, this is really good, and it's not fair to people.
Well, they said that, the whole thing's a fucking mess.
But the dude who runs at Warner Brothers now, Zaslav, is like, Superman, it's the best script. So I respond underneath it. That's why we have to use it as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
So, I feel bad I slept on this one. I'm glad I did see it on
You
the
did
big
sleep
screen.
during this at one
I
point.
know, I'm old. I also have a very physical job. And I get a little tired. Sometimes I drift off during movies.
Lana's a stripper.
But it was just...
Actually, a bouncer.
I do work. I had to train a girl the other day at my job. She's a stripper at night.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is like Flashdance, you know? She's like, you know.
During the day, she's a welder.
I think it's really sad that she's a stripper but has to have a day job. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's the
Well,
point of
she's
being
got
a
two
stripper?
kids.
By day, I'm an air traffic controller, and by night, I'm a stripper.
She's got 2 kids now.
Aw.
So it was only for like a couple minutes. Jeez, oh Pete. But
Yeah.
but anyway, thanks for bringing that up. So it'll happen to you, believe me.
It happens to me all the time.
I fall asleep while driving constantly.
Yeah. I did that before I left my other job, and it was scary because I could not keep my eyes open, and then I also felt these like this bumpiness and like that's the scary.
I used to work overnights at a hotel, and I would work 8 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd gone like there's big chunks of like 2011, 12. I don't remember, and like I'll see Facebook posts like memories of like. I slept through the Oscars or something like that, you know. And I remember one day I was driving home and I was on the turnpike, and I was just like, and I don't remember, but I got home somehow.
That's a scary. I know.
Scary.
I've had.
You know how? Jesus took the wheel.
Thanks, Jesus.
And took me to the strip club to meet your.
Like that's where it carried you, Newt. But yeah. Anyway, I'm old, so getting past that. So I just think it's a fun movie. If it's still playing anywhere near you, you should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, if you get a chance, because it's really funny. It's great.
Yes, I mean, basically the plot is she wishes that she was with this dead boy, and she just said it like she meant dead in the ground with him. And there's a ball lightning, and it brings him back from the dead, and he becomes like her zombie friend zone.
Yeah, I was gonna make that. I was thinking of the bathroom because at first she treats him like a friend, and she's just like dumping everything on him, like about all of her problems. But then when the guy she likes doesn't turn out to be what she had hoped, then suddenly, and then this guy, the Frankenstein character, does something to prove his love for her, which is so fucking disgusting and hilarious.
We could,
Don't spoil it.
Okay,
Don't spoil
but that's this movie's got a clothes changing montage scene. It's got a fucking musical number to REO Speedwagon, and she's so over the top and camp, and I fucking love this performance and how she kind of. As she comes into her own, she basically becomes Madonna and Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah, definitely. And even though it's PG-13, it's funny because it's pretty gruesome in some parts.
Yeah, they push the limits there.
There's some phallic symbolism and things, so they push the limits. Could it have been R? Maybe. I don't think it would have made a big difference because it is still kind of a Tim Burton-y type movies. I don't really think it needed... Jennifer's Body, yes. That should have been R, and I'm glad it was. But this is definitely more of a PG. But they did get away with some stuff.
Yeah. The vibrators, like it's for your back, like you can use it on other things.
You know, there's like a scene where her sister catches her like
with her
hand in her pants.
Yeah,
and, like, I'm just imagining the discussion in the editing room for like how many seconds can you do that and still be PG-13.
And you could still wear a Kathy shirt and look sexy.
Yeah,
you know?
That was really right, because Kathy's usually so. It's funny. I saw the creator of Kathy on a late night talk show, like a rerun on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And it was like, she was actually very, very like sexy and charming. I'm like, I would never get that from Lady Made Kathy because that character Kathy is so obnoxious.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Remember when they used to do like the SNL ones of Kathy? But no, this was fucking fun, man, and I'm bummed out that more people, because usually there's like a movie like this where if it doesn't do well, you'll find people who like champion it, and then they don't stop talking about it on social media. I didn't see anybody talking about this.
Well, I think they didn't know it existed. Again,
I knew nothing about it when I went in.
Theaters, and I'm tired of them just dumping good shit in theaters.
Yeah.
Like Madam Web is clogging up theaters, and it's a piece of shit.
But you saw plenty of ads for it.
You have to drive over state lines.
I was talking to somebody recently. I was like, Marvel, like Disney should sue Sony for ruining their brand at this point to get the rights back to stop this shit.
And Disney needs the money.
They do. Oh, after the last year? Oh, yeah.
And all their lawsuits and all their bullshit and how horrible they are to their employees.
Mm-hmm. They used to call it, a buddy of mine used to work for Disney, and they used to call it Mousekowitz. It was Mickey Mouse concentration camp.
That's funny.
The boy in the pajamas. Oh, they make it instead of it's a Mickey Mouse ears thing they have to wear, and
Oh my god!
Oh, man.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But I guess while we're here and talking about things,
yeah.
So I was laughing with the Godzilla -1 apology tour because I don't know what you were apologizing for. I'm like, it's okay if you liked it, but you didn't think it was a mask. Like, you didn't think it was.
Well, no, I said that in my video.
Godzilla,
yeah.
But then you're like apologizing. Like, what is he apologizing for? And then you were like, what really cracked me up in the video? Like, we got really snarky, and I don't like that. I'm like, bitch, your whole thing is snark. You are the king of snark. And that's what's funny about you. Like, when we saw Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's at the end of the movie, he got up and yelled at the audience for liking that piece of shit. And he's like, did you guys like this? Like, yeah. He's like,
we need another Vietnam.
Yeah, he said we need another Vietnam. So I enjoy that humor, but I don't know why you're worried about it. Because I feel like people, your fans, even if they don't agree with you, they should just appreciate your commentary. Like, you're funny.
I know. So I watched it again though. I watched it a second time, and I watched the black and white version. And I think the black and white version did more for me because it covered up some of the effects stuff I didn't like.
Okay.
But it was more so the idea that it was bringing people joy. And the fact that, like, people are excited there's a Godzilla movie in the theaters that's not a Disney movie or something like that. I was like, okay, it cooled my my heart a little bit. I was like, you know what?
His heart grew 3 sizes.
It did.
That day.
It's that's just clogged up with eating at Red Robin. More fried pickles. I start fucking crying that green shit that Frankenstein was. I also really liked that he looked like the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein. The drawings of Wrightson's
Wait, how do we
Frankenstein.
get back to Frankenstein?
Well, because he remember when he's crying that green shit.
Oh yeah,
I said that's but that's because we were eating fried pickles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
the first time we watched it, I thought this isn't that great, and then I watched it again, and then just reading people's stuff, I was like, okay. And the apology thing was a joke. Like, that was all just clickbait, you know? But it was also like, all right, I gotta take the small things that, like, there's shit out there that's not, that it's somebody's, like, a filmmaker had a vision, and the big studio went, yeah, go ahead, make this weird fucking World War II movie. And I was like, all right, more of that. Less, I mean, I'm excited to see Godzilla vs. King Kong, because it's fucking big dumb CGI monsters, and they gave him a fucking infinity gauntlet, and he's fucking,
and they're bros.
Yeah, and they're like, they're like fucking, like, they should be
have
wearing,
to run together
pumping.
like Rocky,
like in
and
Rocky
Apollo
3.
Creed.
I want them to be wearing like fucking like tank tops and like hugging in the surf and shit. But yeah, it was like a big fucking CGI monkey with a glove on, punching other monkeys in the mush. Why not? You know?
We can have all the things.
Well, I'm glad Godzilla -1 did well, because I agree with you. I didn't love it as much as other people. I didn't dislike it. I think the special effects are great.
Yeah.
Glad they got
I
an Oscar
prefer Shin
nomination.
Godzilla.
Yeah. I'm glad they got an Oscar nomination. The story I thought was a little weak, but I'm glad that it did well, because then we can get more foreign films that are fun like that. You know what I like, entertaining.
Like I booked it at the Narberth, the black and white version, and it did I mean, I had to fight about it. And I was like, dude, this is going to be an Academy Award winning movie. People are talking about it. My buddy Joe Masher gave the director an award at Cinema whatever in Vegas, and he was wearing like Godzilla shoes, like he had Godzilla's thing, and he's like, it was so cool because all these other like clearly huge Hollywood fucking names are walking up to him and wanting to get pictures and telling him how much it meant to them. And that was cool. Like, he's like, yeah, Steven Spielberg came up to him and Bradley Cooper and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there watching it, and they're talking about their favorite Godzilla movies and stuff like that. And he goes, yeah, you forget that these people, before they got into this shit, were fans of these things.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that kind of changed my mind a little bit, was like, yeah, Godzilla's been around since the 1950s. And there's had so many iterations of Godzilla, but there is something core about it that keeps people coming back to it. And if we continue to find new ways to tell stories in that way, then maybe movies will exist forever, and that, like, maybe we won't have shit that is good that gets hidden or written off as tax write-offs and stuff like that, because I want to love movies. I desperately want to love movies. But Madam Web has made it so fucking like the cynicism is so over the top. Like that Struckman guy. He does a review and he's like, well, I'm not going to talk badly about this movie. Yeah, because you just had a Indiegogo that was the highest grossing Indiegogo ever, and you want to be a Hollywood director. James Rolfe. I'm not going to talk about Ghostbusters. Okay, dude. Well, you can't be a movie reviewer and have it both ways.
Right.
You can't not talk about a movie because you want to be one of the cool kids. Here's the thing: if you're not Denis Villeneuve or Steven Spielberg or fucking David Lynch or people like that, you're not a director. There's no such thing as directors in Hollywood. You're a shooter.
Yeah.
The fucking dude from Jurassic Park who's made $1 billion, the new one. He's like, well, I'd like to kind of push the release date back, and they're like, well, we don't need you anymore. It's like, you're not a director. You're a shooter. That's it. You're good at keeping the fucking schedule. When I used to be at the old show, they told me all you're good at is being the schedule boy. And I was like, oh yeah, that schedule boy kept you 3 months in advance. So even after I was fucking fired, you still had episodes to release and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the job. Is like, why would you want to give up your opinion, your own ideas of things to bray up with the sheep and just be treated like a piece of shit where they can write your shit off or drop it into the fucking haunted Delaware movie theater and nobody's gonna go see it. Like that's the shit that doesn't make sense to me. You have the people who are either too cynical and just I'm gonna prove how much funnier and smarter and clever I am, or hate watch things. There's this dude Saber Spark who does these anime videos and he did a whole thing about hate watching, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy. And I don't want to be the fucking dude who, if I be really nice and fucking suck off Sony, they're gonna send me like a free fucking t-shirt. Like, no,
Get a Craven t-shirt.
Yeah, oh god. Thank you. I'm craving for this.
I'm craving a Pepsi.
I like that he didn't even get killed by the Pepsi sign.
Right.
Like, it fell, but it's not the thing that ended him.
Yeah.
And then at some point in 2003, was Pepsi like factories full of explosives?
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, I am excited for the lineup of horror movies this year. There's some good shit coming out. The movie I'm most excited about for this year, and I hope it's supposed to get a limited theatrical run. We will drive over state lines, but Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
I am so
fucking
good for that.
It's got that kind of...
And I hope we can see it together because I think that would be fun to review.
And you said Michael Ironside's the narrator.
He narrates
and I
like
love
the first
Michael Ironside.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
The dude who's like the lead of it is the guy who was Polka Dot Man and Suicide Squad. He's in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. Going back before that, he'd been in a million things. He's the dude in The Dark Knight who's like in the thing with the gun.
Yeah.
He's in one of the Jay and Silent Bob movies and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that one looks great. It kind of looks like Ghostwatch a little bit.
It's like a combination of Ghostwatch with like a tinge of like the Christine Chubbuck. Like,
yeah.
It's got that like
or even
that,
a little bit
like,
of like the scene in Zodiac with fucking first Hannibal Lecter when they leave the phone lines open for the Zodiac to call.
Yeah.
A little bit of that as well.
Yeah,
no, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is cool. And it's gonna be like a Shudder exclusive though, right? Like it's got a short theatrical run.
Well, yeah, but I think when they did that Skinamarink or whatever the hell it was called, that
was
played at
fucking
KOP.
awesome.
And I think this has a chance of actually playing somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I will drive.
I'll go see it. I thought the first trailer looked incredible. We saw the trailer for like the Imaginary Monster movie or whatever, like a teddy bear. That looked okay. I was telling you the trailer for Boy Kills World with Pennywise, but it's produced by...
I haven't seen that trailer yet.
It looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. John Benjamin, who's Bob from Bob's Burgers. He's the can of mixed vegetables in Wet Hot American Summer.
Wow,
It can suck its own dick.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that one looks really cool. Sam Raimi produced that. No, it's like that's the thing is like I don't want to be overly cynical, but it's really like not that you and I, we've all been fans of movies long enough to see how the fucking sausage is made. But it's just gotten to that point now where like it's so that Madam Web had so much contempt for its audience, and the way that movie reviewers are coming at it from those two different things, there's nobody in the middle just going like, why aren't we demanding more from things? Like why is this all you're giving us? Why do we have to drive across state lines at 10 o'clock at fucking night to go see something good instead of you
that people
burying
tried.
it? That people tried. Like there was
Yeah, Madam Web was like you could tell everyone, not just the actors, everyone was like they had the enthusiasm of jury duty.
Yeah.
But that was it. They were just, let's just get through this and so I can go do something I want.
Dakota Johnson was just like, it's like the best movie that like an AI wrote for your boyfriend.
Yeah,
or something like that. You know, but no, it's just one of those things where it's like, I want people to still love movies. I want people to go and find things and love things, and when all you're being given is the same fucking cookie cutter nonsense. And I love superheroes. But I'm just like, all right, we need a break. We really do. If you're not going to try different genres and you're just going to keep giving. No, granted, I'm a little excited about Joker 2, mostly
I'm very
because
excited for that.
It looks like One for the Heart, which I really, really like. I know that's like that movie basically ended New Hollywood,
right?
But I really like that movie, and I love it. A lot
of people do.
I met with Crystal Gale. Did a show at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, and I had her sign.
I love Crystal
Yeah,
Gale.
me too. And I had her sign my album because it was her and Tom Waits. And then I had a Crystal Gale T-shirt because you ever see Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
When he's like, "How'd your day go?" Got attacked by a puma. Ripped my favorite Crystal Gale T-shirt. So when I met her, I was like, "Does anybody ever say that to you?" And she's like, "No, I didn't even see that movie." Like, she didn't know that she was referenced in it.
So
I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Her hair was beautiful.
Yeah, I followed her on Facebook because always when I was a kid, I loved that "Don't Make My Brown Eyes Blue."
Yeah.
Then she did a song with Eddie Rabbitt I love called "Just You and I," which is like a duet.
If you were to put Visine on your butthole, is that turning your brown eye blue? Yeah, I don't know.
I think this year we have a pretty good lineup. There's
I hope
another
so.
movie with Sydney Sweeney coming out where she's a nun that looks interesting.
Yes.
There's also another creepy movie Shudder's doing, but it got a theatrical run. But apparently, I just saw the trailer for it. Apparently, it's in theaters this week. No, that looks good. Sting. This one's called Stop Motion. And again, like you don't even heard of it. Like they showed a trailer and they're like, it's gonna get a limited run. So I looked it up, and apparently, limited run like literally started this week, like right after the trailer, and it was again it's something we have to drive far away for, and then it's going to be on Shudder. So I'm hoping Late Night with Devils have more buzz that's been building up for like the past year. So I'm hoping that gets like an actual theater. But I'm like, what the why aren't these the movies that are in the theaters?
I mean, because even like something like Thanksgiving did really well, and that was a smaller budget movie. I don't know.
It was crowded when we saw it.
Yeah, I went to the press premiere. Metz and I went to the press premiere, and it was jam packed, and people all really enjoyed it. Right. I'd much rather watch that than any of the fucking Scream sequels.
Although one I was like, I don't know about this. The first Omen.
Oh yeah.
And Dave's like, I already saw the first Omen.
It was called The Omen.
Yeah.
Remember the remake?
Oh, so boring.
Yeah, with
so
fucking
Liev
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
Except Rabici, the Italian actor, was in it.
You know, I do want to shout it out. Mia Farrow played the creepy nanny, the one who comes to replace the other nanny, and she was great. And I'm like, she was just born to be the devil's whore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was just her.
That's what my guidance counselor said about me. No, that's again, like, I hope this one finds an audience because, again, the look of it was beautiful. I love the 1989 setting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that happened with Jennifer's Body because I went to see that in the theater. And I loved it. But
me too.
When it came out, there was this backlash against Megan Fox, which I never understood because people were like, oh my God, she's so bad in those Transformers movies. I'm like,
who wasn't?
What? I'm like, who the fuck do you want to be in those movies?
They took Frances McDormand and John Turturro and fucking John Malkovich and brought them down to Michael Bay's level.
Right, but really it was like hideous looking women are mad because I'm just gonna be honest. It was like, they get jealous because she was hot because I couldn't figure out like what did she do that you hate her so bad. So I thought she was. Now I'm not saying she can act like Annette Bening.
No.
But in certain roles, I think she can nail it. And I think she nailed that role.
I liked her in This Is 40. You ever see This Is? She's really good in that one. No, she's been in certain roles. She's been good in shit.
Yeah, and Jennifer's Body was a very overlooked film, so now it's finding an audience. The Colonial.
Yeah.
I'm glad that and Karen. I think I'm gonna screw her name up. Karen Kusama. She's the one who did. She directed that. She also directed the pilot episode of Yellow Jackets.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, I probably butchered her name, but she's a really good. I know. She's a really good director, and so because they were talking about if this had done well, this is apparently set in the Jennifer's Body universe apparently.
So I don't know.
I have to look for. I don't know if there was some Easter egg that I was supposed to be looking for. I'll have to go check on that.
Yeah, but no, I thought this was a lot of fun. It's had like, there's also like a little bit of Donnie Darko in it as well, with like some of like the crowd scenes and stuff like that. With the way it was framed was kind of like when he beats up the guy with the club and he drives away and the kid's waving. It reminded me of the scene in Donnie Darko when like the mom waves at the kid who's just standing across. I was like, that's just weird connection thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we should. The dude comes back from the dead. And she just like, she's missing an ear, an arm, and a penis and a tongue, and she's just killing people and giving them those parts and putting them in a tanning bed that like, you know, has regenerative powers.
Yeah, it's a faulty one.
It's such ridiculous. It's so funny. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, I thought this was great, and if you have not seen it yet, I definitely recommend you checking it out. And we should come back to this haunted theater again.
Yes, and try to see Late Dance with the Devil. I think that's on the 22nd.
Well, tonight was a
of
busy
March.
night. It's Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
About the vomit. You saw vomit.
Oh yeah. So you guys were sitting watching the credits, and I had happened to pee the entire time. So I got up to walk out, and there was like trickles of vomit on the carpet leading into it.
God.
And then in the men's room, all over the side of the toilet was just vomit, and I was like, that's fine. But there was two dudes already at the urinals, and I was like, I can't wait. I don't want to like, you know. So I went in the thing, and I'm just like. Like, you know that thing, it's like if you go into like a porta potty and you're like, whatever you do, don't look down. Like,
Yeah. You just see the kid from Schindler's List looking back at you.
I'm like, what are you doing down here? He's like, yeah, it's kind of my thing.
At first it was to hide. Now I just like doing it.
Yeah. This elevator only goes to the bottom, and someone made a terrible mess down there. All right, that's it. I gotta go from my movie theater to this movie theater to home to go to another movie theater because this is my life. But I told you on the way here, we did when Exhumed Films was at Cinemark, they did like an all-night horror thing, but it didn't start until like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. But do you remember that movie Below, the submarine movie with Zach Galifianakis?
Oh my God!
Darren Aronofsky wrote it. It was directed by the guy who did Pitch Black.
Yes.
So my former best friend and I were invited to the premiere at the Roxy for that, back when the Roxy still did that stuff. So I was working at my theater during the day, left there, went to the premiere of the thing at the Roxy. So I'm from Jersey to Philly back to Jersey for an entire night of movies, then got out of there at like 6 a.m. because the last movie was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And as you know, the last 20 minutes of that movie are just her screaming.
Yeah.
So everybody's fucking heads were rattling. I went home, took a shower, and then got called in to go work at another theater. So I had to go then back over to PA. So I was in all these different states and theaters in a 24-hour period, like watching movies or running movies. And that's my life.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a life.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But it was the first time there was one movie there that I had never seen before, and I was like browbeaten by the dude who sold the VHS tapes that I had never seen it before, and I'm like, oh, sorry, fucking chief, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like when you tell somebody you haven't seen a movie and they're like, what do you mean you like, oh my God, you haven't seen it?
Yeah,
like,
and it wasn't, and it's not like you've never seen
Star Wars.
It was like some fucking 1970s exploitation movie that I was like, oh, it's cool, I'd never seen that before on the big screen, and they looked at me like, like grasping their fucking pearls. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'll pearl necklace you. Anything else to add?
I think that's it. Well, we have a Dune review coming up for Dune
Yes.
84 review.
So I'm going to put this up as soon as we're done. And then Dune this week will be on Wednesday for you guys.
That's a really good one.
Yes, I watched it. It's pretty good. People really liked your Madam Web video too.
Thank you.
We got a lot of people who were like saying like, "Oh, you guys need to do more of these."
Yeah.
I want you to. Oh my god. Oh my
Well, we
god.
watch a lot of movies.
I know. But I want you guys to review. I want you guys to review Swamp Zombies.
Yeah, we have
2.
to get together for that.
I just want you two to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because I'd love unfiltered me not there, unable to defend myself.
Yeah, it's a good
Review
idea.
of
Probably
that.
would
I'm gonna go Reddit on your ass.
So and so says about Newt. No, somebody told me that those guys did a review of my commentary track of the movie, and I'm like, first off, I made this movie for $2,000,
Yeah.
and it's available on Tubi and Amazon Prime, and enough people have bought it that I've signed like dozens and dozens of copies, and I'm like, fuck have you ever done?
Yeah.
You know?
This is true.
Fucking post on Reddit. I made a fucking movie.
They
You know?
went out of their way to listen to the commentary. They hate you so much. Let's listen to the commentary.
Yeah.
I hate this guy so much. I want to listen to his voice
Yeah,
for an
it's
hour
so
and a
weird.
half.
And I'm gonna go to the Japanese body pillow with Newt's face on it that I have, and I'm gonna give it the business. Well, it's that point of like, you know, Lex Luthor hates Superman so much he actually loves him.
Yeah.
Is my thought
Yeah.
process for it, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right,
Is
that's
this a good
it.
chance to plug your merch, which might have your face on it for them to fuck?
I should make like
You
a
got merch?
fucking no. Well, I opened a T Public or T Fury or whatever it's called, and I just put a couple of the designs on it and stuff like that, and we actually sold. I woke up like the other night and I got all these orders, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, people were buying the logo as like stickers and pins and stuff like that. I never thought anybody would fucking want that. I mean,
There you go.
I think we have a way cooler logo than other people. Fucking dude who designed it like literally died right after I sent the last payment,
that's
Michael.
bad.
And I was just like, shit, if I just waited a couple hours, I could have gotten that for free.
Oh, you are so bad.
Bye.